Shahida Shahid was out with her friends from university in the city centre on a night out, going to Almost Famous in the Great Northern Warehouse just off Deansgate. She suffered from allergies, she knew that, and she was extraordinarily careful about what she ate. But she had a conversation with the waiter about whether she could have the chicken burger. What Shahida hadn't realised, and the waiter hadn't either, was that it had been soaked in buttermilk as part of the preparation process. Her allergies were noted on the order, and it went across into the kitchen, however not to the head chef who had the conversation with the waiter. It went to another chef who, despite seeing what was on the order, sent out the chicken burger, and Shahida ate it. Now, a few minutes later, after they'd left the restaurant, they were walking down Deansgate, and Shahida started to suffer an anaphylactic shock reaction. She very quickly lost consciousness, and it was a very traumatic event to watch as it unfolded for her friends who were with her. She fell into a coma and she was taken to hospital, and despite the best efforts to save her at Manchester Royal Infirmary, she didn't recover, and on 15th January they turned off her life support, and obviously for her family they were completely devastated. Restaurants, shops, retail establishments don't perhaps really appreciate how serious it can be. People think of an allergic reaction, but they don't think of somebody dying. But that is the potential consequence of this, and one of the sadnesses is that only a few weeks before Shahida died, there'd been new regulations that had come in December 2013, EU regulations which had required that food establishments provide more detail about allergies and the contents of what they are selling, to make sure that consumers are aware and have the best information available. But it had all gone horribly wrong due to effectively a terrible breakdown of communication between the staff at the restaurant, with devastating consequences. The regulations are there for a good reason. They're there to protect consumers who can expect to be given foodstuffs which are safe to eat. The family obviously think, what's happened, what's gone wrong, how can we do something about it to reduce the chances of it ever happening again? The word justice is inevitably used in these situations, and the family very much wanted to see that justice was done, because as they could see it, the situation that had arisen shouldn't have happened. So the family came to me, and I explained to them that the first step would be for the coroner to open an inquest process. Once the inquest concluded, there was a verdict of misadventure from the jury. That gave the family some satisfaction and obviously closure. And where I come in then is to act for them what we call a civil claim for compensation. They would do anything and give back any amount of money to which they were entitled to bring Shahida back. And the basis of the claim, where there's been a fatality, where somebody has died, is that her mum, who lived at home with Shahida, was dependent on Shahida's financial contribution. Shahida helped her mum out financially, and she helped her out around the house. And that's what I'm at the moment trying to bring to a conclusion, which is a compensation claim for her mum, to give her something to fall back on financially, to get her through the later years in her life, and in some way to give her some comfort.